Welcome back to the Roll Tide Rewind in 2025. I'm your only host today, Thomas. Cole's in Alaska, Ryan's in Wyoming, Parker's doing a tournament, and I don't know where James is. Haven't heard from him since the Commanders lost again. Well, I think they won on Sunday, actually, but they lost to the Falcons, my team, last week, so I haven't heard much from him since. But we are back today to go over some Missouri defensive film. Alabama had a victory last weekend against Vanderbilt. Be sure to check out our latest video that was posted last night on Missouri's offense, talking about Ahmad Hardy and Bo Perbula and how Alabama can effectively stop them. But we turn our attention to Missouri's defense and how Ty Simpson and Alabama can be effective against the Missouri defense. So let's hop into the film. What is Missouri good at this year? Pass rushing. They are one of the best pass rushing teams in the entire country. They are second in pressure win rate. They have two elite defensive ends, Damon Wilson and Zion Young. Damon Wilson is second in the country in pressure rate. Zion Young is third. Nope, not just in the SEC, in the entire country. And they have two of the top three rushers. And you can even see here in these clips, Lenore Sellers looks miserable. And then Jalen Daniels, same way. Both of these are like very mobile quarterbacks that can run around and make plays. But even here, like Jalen Daniels there's nothing he can do. It just gets fumble and then ball pops out. Missouri gets a safety, changes the course of the game. Parker did tell me one thing, though. He said the biggest key for this game, Cole mentioned a big key on the offensive side of the video. But on this video, Parker, when I asked him what his key for the game is, he mentioned the defense for Missouri. And he said, how does Ty Simpson hold up against Missouri's pass rush? Is it the FSU game all over again, or is it better? And it's a great question to ask. Missouri overall defense, I'll go over that real quick. Second in yards per game in the country, so second in total defense. 16th in points per game, top 5 in run defense, and 10th in passing. Pretty incredible, if you ask me. But you see here in these videos, we'll just go over them real quick. But like Lenore Sellers here, on the 3-man rush of a spy, he's pressured almost immediately and has to just make a desperation throw, which that's a pretty incredible throw. That's probably why he's getting good reviews for the NFL draft. Even here on the second play with Lenore Sellers, in motion, Missouri does bring a blitz here. But even like with the blitz, it doesn't really even matter. Like you can see with this linebacker right here, just untouched. Now, South Carolina's offensive line, it's not been great. But it's still, this is like they played South Carolina and Kansas. That's their two biggest competitions so far. And then even their sack. Jalen Daniels is a great mobile quarterback, but even him, he had a pretty hard day getting comfortable in this game. Like it's just hard to make play when you're just getting thrown around like that. And then even right here in the fourth quarter, when you're trying to make a play, it's really difficult. And then also Lenore Sellers here, 4-man rush pushes him right back and got to bail on the play and you got to do something with it. And we saw in the Florida State game when Ty Simpson was getting pressure, he didn't really respond to it well. We'll show here this first play. This is 4th and 7. Third quarter, Alabama's trying to get some points on the board, kind of giving up on kicking field goals at this point. Ty's pressure on the 4-man rush. He makes a great play, gets out of the pocket, does a really good job. And you see here this first down marker. It's right there for him to run. And he just makes a bad throw. And it's incomplete. Turnover on downs. The game still continues the same it is, but you'll see it better here. Pressured on both sides, but is able to escape and do a good job. But you can see just the running room here that he refuses to take. And in this game, we mentioned in the Georgia preview that we were confident Georgia would get pressure and how would Ty respond to it. Georgia didn't really get that much pressure. They got pressure, but they weren't concerning Ty Simpson. Like he looked like a field general out there. Missouri's going to get pressure. They have guys that win. They're second and third in the country in pass rush win rate. Now, I talked about this in the end of the last video. How does Missouri scale? By that, I mean, how do they scale up to this offensive line with Caden Proctor, Wilkin Formby, Parker Brailsford? How do they scale up? Because they did great against these inferior opponents. Like Missouri's strength of schedule is 109th. Alabama's has been third. How do they scale up? But I mean, pass pressure win rate is a good stat to look at. And it's a good stat to acknowledge because they're going to get back there a couple of times. How does Ty Simpson respond? Well, is it Ty Simpson from the Florida State game? Or is it Ty Simpson from the past few weeks? This is from the Georgia game, 3rd and 7, first third down of the game. Georgia brings the pressure. Ty, so comfortable, moves up in the pocket, and gets a first down. But yeah, noticeably you can see from the Florida State game to now, he's just a much more comfortable quarterback. Georgia likes to bring elaborate pressures. Ty is very comfortable, really ready for it, and is able to make a play when he needed to. We can also see this against the Wisconsin game. This one is one of his best highlights of the year, in my opinion. Him almost getting sacked, but making a play out of it, like getting touched, but able to pop out and make a play out of it. Caden Proctor's confused with the pressure there, but Ty makes a play. And this is what we're going to have to see in the Missouri game. How do his legs affect the game? I think his legs are a pretty important part of this game, how he can move in the pocket and make plays. Here's the Vanderbilt game. I remember Ryan told me this when we were watching it live, or told our group chat this. Ryan said he does not make this play in the Florida State game. And it's true. Look, he may have forced the throw against Florida State here. He takes what the defense gives him, gets a first down. And this is going to be, like I said, a big important piece. How does Ty Simpson handle the pressure, and how does he make these plays with his legs when he needs to? One thing also Missouri does really well is run stopping. I said they were top 5 in run defense. You can see here from the few clips from the South Carolina and Kansas game, they fly to the ball, man. They are very aggressive with the run defense. And Alabama has not been a great rushing team. They're like in the 100s of rush offense. Like I mentioned in the last episode, Jamal Roberts has over 360-something rushing yards. He would be Alabama's leading rusher by like almost double. And Jam Miller, I think, is Alabama's leading rusher now in the 2 games that he's played. But I will say Alabama's had their problems running the football. They had a great game last week against Vanderbilt. We'll see here, Jam Miller, but great blocking. Like, that's incredible blocking on the left side there by Parker Brailsford, Caden Proctor, Cam Dewberry. Wilcom Formby also comes from his right guard spot and picks up the linebacker for the biggest block on the play to make Miller spring free there. You also can see on this next run here, pulling Cuevas, I think that was Gino Vandemark as well, pulling them both, and holes open up, man. Offensive line is going to be a key for Alabama in this game. Ty Simpson's legs, like I mentioned, is going to be good, but always your offensive line is going to be the most important thing with run blocking. But, man, they were aggressive against Vanderbilt. And that's what they're going to have to do against Missouri. Missouri's got a better defensive line, better defensive ends. How do you block it? How do you effectively block it? We'll see here with the toss. Cam Dewberry gets the pull. Great push-out block, and it's a touchdown for Jam Miller. And we'll even see here on this next clip just the aggressiveness of the offensive line. Watch Cam Dewberry here. Watch him finish this block. Aggressive. Parker Brailsford, too. Like, Parker Brailsford gets the push-off. Caden Proctor gets downfield. Like, credit to the offensive line. That was the best game they played all season, was against Vanderbilt. Like, pass rush or pass blocking wise, I thought Georgia was a great game, but run blocking wise, man, they did Vanderbilt dirty on this game. Jam Miller was over 130 yards, second most yards he's ever had in a game, most rushing yards he's had in an SEC game. This was Alabama's first 100-yard rusher in an SEC game since Jace McClellan in 2023 against Tennessee. And that was in October. So like November 23, all month, all year 2024, and then up to this, we had not had a 100-yard rusher rushing by a running back in an SEC game. Jalen Miller had a few 100-yard games, but no running back until then. So is the run offense going to continue their successes? If it's a yes, I like what we're doing against Missouri. We're taking time off the clock, getting their offense off the field, kind of controlling the game like we did against Vanderbilt, had over 35 minutes of time possession, kind of flipped the script of the last year Vanderbilt game. But if we're running the ball well, that's great. Now, if we're going to be semi-realistic, Alabama's run game hasn't been as effective. It was effective last week, but in the whole season, hasn't been as effective. So Ty Simpson's going to have more pressure on his hands, but I liked what I saw from the run game last week. It was as effective as it could be. So hopefully that can continue for the Tide. We'll get into the next part here. Something I noticed in film watching Missouri is they will let tight ends kind of almost get away with what they want to. As you see here, no one picked up the tight end from the middle. He motions right here and just pops through. No one takes him. Wide open. We'll go to the next clip here. Kansas gets kind of like a little fast settle, tight end out of the backfield here. No one picks them up. Now, this is also just a good play run by Kansas to kind of confuse Missouri. They did it well. And then we'll see a few plays later from Kansas. Tight end sneaks out of the backfield here, wide open. Makes a great catch, even takes the hit, but no one picks him up. And then we'll see here, tight end motions, goes a wheel route here. He is picked up here semi, but he's kind of just there's a miscommunication of this zone right here where he fits in that spot and is able to get it. And then you're also going to see here, tight end from the H-back spot, so that's out of the backfield. No one really picks him up. And last little tight end clip here. I know I've gone through a lot of them, but same thing here. Tight end across the middle of the field, was able to get wide open, able to make a play. I said for the Georgia game, Isaiah Horton was the Roll Tide Rewind X factor. I think the Roll Tide Rewind X factor in this Alabama-Missouri game for the offense is Josh Cuevas. If they're going to let the tight ends run free, Alabama's going to exploit that. And you see here against Vanderbilt, he's got a lot of athletic ability, made a good hurdle. Let's watch that again. I just want to see the tight end get up a little high. Great play. But he's been like very much an underrated part of this offense. He does so much with blocking and then just being that reliable 2 to 3 catches a game, 4 catches a game, makes guys miss. And he trusted here on 4th and 7. Vanderbilt brings someone with a blitz. No one's going to pick him up. And Jeremy Bernard with a great block there, and Cuevas gets a lot more yardage than he probably was going to. But Alabama has used him effectively. 3rd and 7 here. Does a little high slant route here. Ty delivers it really well. You also see here going out of the backfield, no one really picks him up and is able to get over 10 yards. And I think we'll see here little tight end screen action. Even though he doesn't really gain a lot of yards here, it's just an idea of something that Alabama can do. But I think Cuevas is going to be the X factor. I think he has over 5 catches in this game. I think whatever his record for catches in a game at Alabama, I think it's going to be broken against Missouri. I hadn't looked at those stats, but he's going to be a big-time player in this game, whether it be 5 catches or whatever. Maybe gets a touchdown. He got a touchdown against Florida State and had a touchdown against Louisiana Monroe. But I think he's going to be a big, important factor in this game. If, like we showed in these clips over here, if Missouri is going to let these tight ends run, Alabama's going to exploit it. This is just mismatches in coverage. They're letting the tight ends kind of run free. And I think Cuevas is a great player, and I think he will be utilized a lot in this game. He'll be asked a lot out of him, and then how does he deliver with that? And also, I think even doesn't have to be Cuevas. I think Caleb Edwards, freshman tight end, I think he's also a big factor in this game too. If it's not Cuevas, it's Caleb Edwards as well. We'll see here, they motion Caleb Edwards from the top, gets him down to the bottom of the screen, the other screen pass, and he's a big guy, like just falling forward for extra yardage. But I think Alabama's tight end, specifically Cuevas, will be the X factors in this game. Like they will be the ones to where this will be what will decide, like the Alabama's like turning point in the game. We'll also see here with some Missouri's defense, some busted coverages that I saw. This is 3rd and 12 for the North Sellers. He's not going to be pressured as much here, has some time to make a throw, and just misses a wide open receiver here. But that's a walk-in touchdown. That's a big miss by South Carolina there. But what happened on this play? We'll see the wide receiver is going to run a little bit of post route here across the middle. Miscommunication here by Missouri. They are still confused before the snap who to go to. They leave him running wide open. There's a mess up in this zone. Like you have man coverage here at the top, like a midst of a cover 2 zone here. And they both kind of just go to not necessarily the same spot, but they're going to the same side of the field. And that just leaves this one wide open. But you can see here Missouri kind of it's not necessarily a man coverage here. He's got a zone. He's staying with them, but he's not going to run with them. There's another guy that's going to pick him up. There's a miscommunication there. So is that something Alabama exploits? We'll also see here, 3rd and 14. South Carolina gets the offsides here to help him out. Deep shot, and it's a touchdown. How does he get so wide open? We'll see here. It's kind of another cover 2. You got a man right here with the safety over the top. The safety's just very hesitant. Doesn't really respect Lenore Sellers here with this deep ball. He's just kind of like, even though he does running after it, but you see here, very hesitant, very tiptoey, and he's already gotten beat. So Are they going to do that with Alabama's receivers like Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard, Loxier Brooks? Are they going to do that? And is that something Alabama will exploit? You have to think that it will be. We'll see here with Kansas. It's deep ball, another same thing. I'll show the deep ball actually. Great catch by the Kansas player there. Shout out Emmanuel Henderson. That wasn't Emmanuel Henderson, but saying shout out to him. He's had a good year. See here a little stop, kind of like not necessarily a stop and go, but like kind of to little stutter and go, and just kind of blows right by him. No safety help. Safety kind of bites down here to do like a little. They're doing man coverage here. Are they going to do man coverage like this? And that's how they're going to press? Is Alabama going to attack it? We'll see here in the Vanderbilt game. This was one of my favorite plays from the game. How Alabama exploited Vanderbilt's cover 2 with Jeremy Bernard. As soon as Bernard gets by this corner, Ty bullets this pass because the safety has no chance to make it over there in time. And with what we saw with the Missouri film just now, with them getting exploited in coverage, Alabama sees this stuff in film. This cover 2 stuff, that's seen in film. We'll see with this extra replay here of like an all 22-ish angle of the play. He notices it. So as soon as Bernard gets by this corner here, Ty knows he's not going with him. Just bullet that pass. In stride, great throw. Alabama sees this in film, like I'm saying, and that's something they're going to try to capitalize on. We'll see here in the Georgia game, similar deal, kind of like a cover 2. As soon as Horton gets by this corner here, it's a bullet of a pass by Ty. And ends up being like 25-yard gain, ends up being a touchdown on the drive. But Alabama has seen this stuff in film and will attack it. And also with the deep shot that we saw in the last Missouri defensive play, Ty got to throw a deep ball last week against Vanderbilt to Ryan Williams. This time it was caught. But what a bomb here. He has his receiver have a chance to play. That's like over 55 air yards right there to his receiver. But yeah, that's something like I think if that's how Missouri's defensive backs are going to play Alabama's receivers, that's something Alabama's going to try to exploit with their big passing game. But I think that's going to be a big key too. Like I've said, there's a lot of keys to this game, like Ty's mobility, Josh Cuevas, offensive line blocking. But how are they going to guard our receivers? If it's going to be like that, I love Alabama's chances. But, obviously that's not how the whole game is going to be dictated. But we'll end here. I know people have noticed that Alabama has been running a lot more trick plays than usual this year. And that's by design. They have the athletes to do it. We'll see here against Georgia, third down, pass, toss to Bernard, pass to Horton, 1st and 10. Parker said this was a little too cutesy at the time. I do agree. It's a little too much. But like I told him there in the video, I said, if this is going to happen during a game, might as well be against Georgia. See this against Wisconsin. Reverse to Ryan, to Bernard, back to Simpson, back to Williams. And you have 5 offensive linemen in front of you, one being Caden Proctor, one being Parker Brailsford. You're going to be just fine. Great design there. Are we going to see Alabama do a trick play against Missouri? And how would you feel about that? So kind of the question I'm getting at here. But because I'll show you, the last clip I'll show will make some people infuriated. It'll make me infuriated too. But we also have seen Caden Proctor get the ball a lot recently too, which I know a lot of people are happy about. Here's the play against Georgia. Bernard motions, and then this is a backwards pass to Proctor. But Proctor, man, he's just so big. There's just no way you can tackle him like out in space like that. And Josh Pate was saying he visited Alabama multiple times this offseason. He says Proctor is all 6'8", 370, but you need to see him run. He runs very, very fast for a guy his size. And then we'll see here against Vanderbilt, like just this formation. This was a great play. This is kind of almost helped ice the game, but start the receivers out in the flat, bring them all to close to the middle of the field to kind of confuse them, bring Ty up to under center. Caden Proctor's right there at fullback. And, yeah, we're just going to hand it to him. Let the big man work. They just can't tackle him at first. Like, he gets hit in the backfield, but he's so aggressive, and he's just one of those big guys that when you get the football, it's once in a lifetime chance to take it and move with it. But for a funny comment thing, over under Caden Proctor touchdowns this year. I'll set it at 1.5. You think it'll be over or under? I think we're going to start using him a lot more in the goal line game. Just something that I've just have a thought, just a thought. Because if he's going to run like that, they're not going to be able to tackle him. Why not hand the ball off to him at the 1 yard line? Make our own refrigerator Perry in the backfield. I will show this last play, and when this play happened live, I was really upset with this play call. Ty Simpson, this is a third down. The score, I think it's 17-14 at this point, or possibly it's 14-14. Okay. But Alabama, this is Alabama's first big drive of the second half, getting down the field. Alabama ran the ball 2 plays in a row. They got a 5-yard gain, then no gain. So now it's 3rd and 5. They do an elaborate formation here. They have Bernard lined up under center. Ty Simpson lined up beside him. Ty's acting like he's going to snap the ball, but then he motions out. Vanderbilt don't care. Like, you see, they don't adjust anything to Ty Simpson going out of the pocket. And Bernard's trying to do, you see this little misdirection here. He claps, looks over, tries to get Vanderbilt misdirection here, but Vanderbilt really isn't fooled. Clap it, Bernard's going to run, and this is a 3rd and 5, and goes nowhere. I thought this play was very cutesy. This was it's 3rd and 5. It's not 1st and 10. It's not 2nd and 4. It's 3rd and 5. We took the ball. Ty Simpson threw a 60-yard pass to Ryan Williams to get them in this situation, and we took the ball out of his hands 3 plays in a row. He's our best player. Like, he's our guy that we're riding with, and we took the ball out of his hands 3 times in a row. Gadget plays are good. These trick plays are good. I don't hate these trick plays at all, and I think running them keeps the defense on their toes. But in some situations like this one, why did this play need to be run? Like, why was this the play of choice? Like, you're not fooling them. Like, Ty Simpson in motion, what's that going to do? Like, no offense to Ty, of course, but, like, what's that going to do? And, like, this is a good play on 1st and 10. If this is run on 1st and 10, gains -3 yards, I live with it. It being a 3rd and 5, though, is where I questioned this play call. But I'd like to get y'all guys' thoughts on that as well. But I do wonder what type of trick plays we see Alabama do in this game. Like, what kind of gadget plays do we see Alabama try to pull out to confuse Missouri? And again, like I mentioned in the last video, SEC this season is 46-7 at home. Can Alabama make that the 8th loss? The strength of schedules, I'll mention them again. Missouri's is 109th. Alabama's is 3rd. So same thing with Missouri's pass rushing. How does that scale? Does it translate or does it not? Does Caden Proctor have one of his best games like he did against Georgia? Does Parker Brailsford continue to do what he does? Does that still continue? And like they're 2nd in total defense, top 5 in run defense. How is Alabama able to run the ball? Is it the same against Vanderbilt, or were we back to where we were against Georgia? How does Ty Simpson move in his legs? How does he respond to the pass rush? Is it the Florida State game all over again, or is it the Ty we've seen the past few weeks? Is Cuevas going to be the X factor? Is he going to be the guy that makes this game not necessarily lopsided, but he's the one that changes this game and is not the reason Alabama won, but you can go and then like, man, Cuevas had a day today. Without him, I don't know if we would have been as successful. And then how do we respond to their coverage bust? Do we capitalize or do we not? And Missouri's got a very experienced team. 10.2% of their roster is graduate players. That's the 3rd most in the SEC. Vanderbilt had the most at like 25%, something crazy. But Missouri's got a very experienced team, so they kind of know what's going on. So how does Alabama respond to all these things? I can't wait to see. We'll be releasing our scores for our, from James, Ryan, Cole, me, Parker, and our social media manager, Zach Williams. We'll release our scores on our Roll Tide Rewind Twitter account or X account, as that's what they call it now. Be sure to follow that too. We just started up like a few weeks ago. It's building up a little bit. Not as doesn't have many followers, but give it a follow. Give us some good comments over there, and also like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Had a big growth the past 2 months. We've grown over 320 subscribers. We're now at over 400. This is incredible. The watch hours are incredible to see as well. It's great to see the success of this YouTube channel, and I hope this will continue throughout the season, and we'll be here throughout this season. And hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I hope we have a great Saturday, and Roll Tide.